Welcome to Church Debate. I'm your host, Courtney Powell. Let's introduce you to our families. On my left, we have the regulars of the week, Kirsten and Katie. And on my right, we have Joe and Michelle. Okay, let's get started with our questions. Let's start with our first question. This is to Michelle and Joe. Do we have to go to church?
No, we can go to God on our own. I can pray to God and I don't have to go to church to do so. The church isn't even important. If I'm truly sorry for my sins, all I have to do is be sorry on my own. We don't have to go to a church. It's irrelevant and boring.
Okay, so that was definitely wrong. Let's go with the right answer. Yes, we do need to go to church for a couple of reasons. We need God in our lives. If we are truly sorry for our sins, we can go to confession. We have to go to church to return love to God. Faith is both communal and personal, so that is why we need to attend Mass as well. If God can give himself up for us, we should give ourselves up for him.
Yes, definitely. That's really right. 100%.
Okay, the second question is directed to Kirsten and Katie. How does the church benefit you personally?
Okay, personally, faith teaches good moral values that help in everyday life that we can use. If we follow these values, we are able to find eternal happiness and love in heaven with God. Without these values, we won't be able to tell right from wrong and end up living a life of misery and pain.
Do you guys want to say anything back to her?
No, it doesn't teach us good moral values. All it does is teach us that the priests do bad things to other people and they should get all this happiness and values for it.
The priests don't represent the entire church.
And people make mistakes all the time, and it doesn't reflect the whole church personally.
I feel like a few bad people shouldn't influence the whole part of the church.
The whole faith.
All right. Let's go on to the third question. How does the church help us seek pleasure?
It doesn't. Our culture does. The church makes us give up our Sundays for nothing and makes us sacrifice stuff that we had and we get nothing in return. All they do is lecture us about giving ourselves up for God and we don't get anything out of it.
Do you guys have anything to say about
Well,
that?
actually, the church does encourage pleasure, but in a positive way. It encourages us to have a healthy relationship with others, obey the rules, and not get into trouble. Obey our parents and remain close to God still.
I think that's right, that the church really teaches you to seek pleasure, but not in the ways that culture can teach us to seek pleasure in and doing bad
They
things.
both relate, just positive ways. They have their differences, but
Yeah.
they do relate.
So we should learn to seek pleasure in different ways. Other ways teach us. Okay, for the fourth question, to Katie and Kirsten. Is "It's My Life" a good excuse to not listen to the church?
No, it's not, because God gave you your life, and he could also take it away just like that. Being selfish and ungrateful are bad attitudes toward any task, and our lives will be truly better if we involve God instead.
Do you guys have anything to say back to that?
I do. That's not true because God isn't living our lives and he doesn't go through what we go through. We go through more pain and suffering than God does nowadays.
Well, I think that God suffered for us, so we should learn that we have to suffer back for him.
We have to
Give time to him because of what he did
Sacrifices.
for us. Make sacrifices.
make sacrifices for him. Just because. Thank you. A round of applause for that.
For the fifth question, how are different cultures interpreted in the church?
Well, St. Francis was Italian and originally built the first manger in front of the church. Now, all over the world, churches put mangers out front of the buildings around Christmas time. This is how we know different cultures inspired some of the traditions that we take part in today.
Do you guys have any answers to that?
They are not interpreted. The church just rejects other ideas and teachings besides their own. Our culture accepts all new ideas and all different people of different cultures and ideas, and all you guys is just reject any other ideas besides your own.
Well, I personally feel that the church actually is more welcoming than culture, because in culture, if you're different, you're judged, and they don't accept different people for their sexuality or their gender or their choice in things. And then I feel like the church definitely makes us all equal as one, and I think that it
It
shows.
invites everyone in, no matter where you're from or who you are.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely. Okay, and time to go on to our sixth question. What percentage of people do you think go to church in the United States of America?
Probably only 5% nowadays. No one bothers going to church. Church is meant to scare people, and it's just boring.
Actually, almost half of the population of the U.S. go to church. But 44% of people go because they want to develop a relationship with God. The relationship goes two ways, and if He sacrifices for us, like I said earlier, we have to sacrifice for Him. And it's not much to just spend an hour on your Sunday just to give up for God. Do you guys have anything you want to say?
I agree.
I agree with you. We need to give up time for God. I mean, He gave us our whole entire lives. We can at least show Him respect on one Sunday for an hour. That's all He asks from us, and we need to be able to do that.
Yeah, definitely He gave up like His whole life and His Son, and I think that in return we can at least give up part of our lives for Him.
You guys have anything? No?
No.
Come back. No? All right.
Do you guys have any closing remarks to make to the other family?
Well, we just hope that we taught you guys that culture is brought into the church today, like all over the world. We influence like different traditions that we still practice today, and it's important to go to church.
Yeah, and the church definitely does benefit us. It teaches us moral values, like we said earlier, helps us get to heaven. Church isn't irrelevant and it's not boring because it teaches us many things and it returns the love back to God, like we said. And It's My Life is not a good excuse to like listen to church. It's just not, because God gave us our lives, and we hope that the other team understands that today. And I hope we taught them something and that they can take with them for a while.
Yeah,
so.
I think that you should definitely consider going back to if you were at the church, or if you've never been, to come to the church, because like we said, the church is inviting and it's open to all kinds of people, and I think that going to God on your own is a good start, but you should go to church because it helps us further in our faith and strengthen our relationship, and it's not that much to do. It's just an hour every Sunday if you can.
Right.
Okay. Do you have any closing remarks to say back?
Yes, we definitely learned, like, that we should go to God and we should go back to the church because we had bad experiences with the church, and we're definitely going to go back and learn more stuff about the church and become closer with God from this experience, and we are changed people from this experience, and it makes us, we're hoping to have happier and healthier lives through this.
I feel like one of the points brought up in the argument was that we brought it up that the church is scandalous with the priests and how they collect money and stuff. But hearing these guys, how the priests are there to help us, they don't do anything wrong to us, that we should learn to forgive people because everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah, definitely. And we're really glad that you guys are going to come back to the church. Like we said, we always invite people back. And if you do have a bad experience with one of the priests or one nun, you should always come back, because one bad apple shouldn't spoil the bunch. All right, guys. I think that sums up our closing remarks. All right, and that's our show for today. I hope you join us again next week, Monday at 7:30, and you'll see Kirsten and Katie back again as usual, and we'll find another family to battle them in church debate. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Okay.
I gotta start it. You're good.
Okay, ready?
Oh my.